Alright, guys. We got BYUN in the top right side of the map playing here against Solar. It's the Monday Night Weeklies, number 11. And it's a best-of-3 series between two players who perennially locked in a battle for supremacy that no one can ever win. I mean, this truly is like the two ghost armies that are trapped in a battle fighting, you know, forever. It's the pirates out of the Pirates of the Caribbean constantly raiding the seas but never actually finding victory or escaping their curse. This is essentially BYUN and Solar. You know, it's always 50-50. You win 2 series, I win 2 series, and then it goes back and forth over and over and over again. And that is how it goes. Have we muted this? Looks like we've accidentally muted the gameplay sounds. Guys, we need the sounds of those drones popping out of those eggs. If there's anything that is more satisfying to a Zerg player than all the little... I feel like that's got to be like one of the funnest things to be there for, is like the audio guy recording the sounds for Zerg. It's got to be amazing. There's so many just weird, gross noises. There is actually a really funny, there's a website where you can, it does like a quiz and you have to guess the sound effect of the Zerg unit. It's a nightmare. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes there's like Protoss units that just have beeps and bobs and stuff like that. Terran units, very easy. They all have very distinctive lines and stuff. But then you've got the Zerg units and it's all just like... And you're like, Mutalisk catching? I don't know. Like, and it's like... And you're just like, okay, this is impossible. I got every single one wrong. I don't think I guessed a single sound correctly. All right, Reaper's coming in. He's going to see if he can get some damage. BYUN going to do BYUN things. It's ley lines to start, but I think we've got... mostly new maps left have been picked as the remaining maps, map 2 and map 3, because most tournaments these days, guys, we're pushing towards heavier and heavier new map pools. I think we're realizing no waiting around for Blizzard anymore to update map pools. Let's just update our tournaments with more interesting things and keep the kind of scene moving around. It's been really interesting to see those different diversity as well. Now, bizarre, guys. Did I just see a third command center on the natural and an idle SCV? Oh, this is BYUN to a nutshell, isn't it? BYUN in a nutshell, BYUN to a T. What is he doing? He's over microing his Reaper trying to slow down the creep, but his macro is looking a little odd, I should say. Because normally this is in the main, but he's built it on the natural for some reason. I guess it does help you wall off. So it could arguably keep you safer against some things, but it's also a bit more exposed. Interesting. More like BYUN to a B, not a T. Yeah. Well, he is a Terran known for teabagging his opponents, but also, yes, BYUN does start with B, and I don't want none unless you got BYUN's Hun. That is, of course, Twitch chat's favorite line whenever we're commentating BYUN. Oh, he gets a tumor. Okay, it's worth. Nice. Does put some micro into that. He finally noticed the SCV, sent it back to money. This is not a huge thing. It just to me, speaks to the chaotic nature of BYUN's focus. Keep in mind, guys, BYUN and Solar are, like, really good friends. They house sit each other's, like, dogs and pets and stuff whenever they go travel. Solar's, like... Solar and his wife go on a little trip somewhere. BYUN, they basically drop the doggo off at BYUN's house, and I think the dogs are like best friends, and BYUN's dog's like, yes, sleepover, and you know, he takes care of him for a while. These guys are just super close. So keep in mind, if BYUN basically like runs in, catches him out of position, kills 8 drones here, he'll immediately drop a question mark to taunt Solar. Likewise, Solar will Bane bust him and laugh at him, or surround his Hellions with Zerglings and drop some question marks. There's a lot of banter between these two players. Third command center does float out over there. 2 more barracks coming in. Double engineering bay will go down after that. I remember early Legacy of the Void, we always went double engineering bay after the Hellions. And one of the big weaknesses we had as players is, as Terran players, we would rush our upgrades, but there would be such a big window between early Hellion aggression, Banshee aggression, Liberator poking, and the Marine stim getting there. And it was when we realized, hey, get the 2nd and 3rd barracks onto these reactors as quickly as possible. It allows you to close the gap between this early pressure that stops the Zerg from just droning freely, and then getting into the stim medevac Marine, which is obviously the most kind of consistent, dynamic, mid-game, clearing up creep, sniping queens, being frustrating. And if you leave too long without doing that, Zerg players can just barrel ahead on the work account and get far away from the Terran economically, and it can snowball from there, right? We've all been in a game where you throw your first few Hellions away, your Liberator flies into a Spore Crawler and dies, and then maybe you're just 20-30 seconds late on your stim Marine pressure as well. And by the time you get there, Zerg's on 80 workers, and they're just A-moving anything you do on their side of the map with Lingbane Hydra. And it feels like, oh gosh, you know, I'm already behind and forced to turtle up behind a wall off because This early game has gone really bad for me now. Does get some creep tumor snipes. I wouldn't have minded the Zerglings maybe trying to poke forward there just to distract BYUN. 1-1 upgrades are on the way for both sides. Terran with a very slight lead there as he goes to 4th and 5th barracks. Combat Shields has started. You can see the Hellions there. They're doing a pretty good job of clearing creep. Of course, Solar will try to replace that creep very quickly. Gets 1 creep tumor down only. Would be nice if he gets another one down, but he does protect this as the Banshees come in the south. I don't think he went for Cloak. Indeed, he did not. These are safety Banshees, guys. He knows you've got to build Spores. Probably going to make it Overseer as well. And indeed, there is an Overseer morphing. Spore Crawlers in each base. And you still get 3 drones, a little bit of denial. But the idea is you're not going to be as aggressive. You're not going to dive in. And you're just going to try to pick off a few things, force an over response, and then bring those back to defend counterattacks. You don't want these Banshees to get trapped in this area. Might just try to pick off 1 or 2 more drones. BYUN tends to get over aggressive, so I wouldn't be surprised if he runs left with these Banshees. What he really should do is run here, kill 2 drones, and immediately fade right. But actually, the Queen's pulled away, so he gets away with it. Yeah, as I said, he wouldn't be able to resist diving in there. He does get 4 drones. Could kill the Spore Crawler as well, which is actually a really juicy pickoff. Nice Evo trick to save that. Cancels the Evo, builds another Spore. The Banshees have to back away. Hellion still scanning on this left side. Got to be careful, though. There's so many Lings now, and he knows he's done for. Those Hellions went too deep. They would have been so useful if he morphed those into Hellbats with his future push. So a bit wasteful there for BYUN, getting a bit excited. And one has to wonder, where's the Stim Marines, guys? He's had Stim for a while in Medivacs, but yeah, he's been so active with the Hellion Banshee, he delayed it. He's going to try and push this south side. I imagine we're going to have a tank there. A tank there. If he tries to get set up down here, it'd be great. Once you're set up down here with tanks, it's amazing. Actually, he goes all the way around to the right. He's going to go for that cliff. Yeah, he wants to just basically drop a tank there and there, siege him up, and then just have a nasty position. Solar sees it, though. Solar, really good awareness. He's got to just jump this. If Solar just goes now, he can crush it. Solar goes for it. Here we go. Oh, BYUN's in trouble right now. The tanks get surrounded. Get out of here, siege tanks. Banelings and Lings on top. BYUN only has enough space to save 16 Marines, man. Much like the Titanic, women and children get out first. Except they don't really, because there's some rich dudes just pushing them in the water and going, oh, no, I gotta go. I'm disabled. I identify as a child. I don't know. But 16 Marines do get out. Nonetheless, an amazing hold for Solar, because clearing the tanks this early, shutting down the pressure, gives you the freedom to drone up. Infestation Pit, 6 more drones, 2-2 on the way. Banelings as well. For some reason, was Titanic the first, like, 3.5 hour movie, guys? I'm sure it was maybe like Ben-Hur or something. I just remember as a kid watching Titanic and being like, this movie just won't stop. Obviously, as a young boy, I wasn't the most excited by a love story on a boat. But I remember just being like, my God, this movie is gone for like 4 days. Like, you know, I was like, I don't think I'd ever watched a movie that long before. I was like, what is this? Rocky 1 is pretty long. Rocky 1's great. It's a good movie, man. That creep tumor surviving up there is really nice. Forces another scan. Guys, where's BYUN's 4th command center? Just there. Okay, Planetary's going up. He's got 8 barracks now with tech labs. Drilling claws, almost finished. 3 Widow Mines. It's just mass bio mine. It's pure Marine right now, though. Where are the Marauders? I guess he's going to start those now that he's on 8 barracks with the 3 extra tech labs. Oh my gosh, only 1 medevac here. Careful, bro. BYUN. Oh no. Oh my God, BYUN. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, this map really has just been Solar just like basically sitting back and macroing flawlessly, and then BYUN getting annoyed, like, or not annoyed, but over eager, going too deep on creep, and Solar just ruining him every time. Like, there was no reason for that many Marines to be that deep without medevac support, but he couldn't pick up. The Lings trapped him. The Widowmine Baneling all blew up his Marines, and now Solar is all over this game. 88 workers, guys. When you play 88 workers and you're rushing Hive like this, you're worried about getting overwhelmed. But if you're crushing their armies like that, it's just like, oh no. BYUN is so far behind now. He's going to have to try and crawl this game back. And normally, when I see him make comebacks against Solar, it's like a mass Marine multi-prong sort of thing. Like, you guys know when on his last 3 barracks, instead of building tech labs, he builds reactors. And it's like really bad against the Lurkers head on, really bad against Ultras. But if he can catch Solar out of position, he does these really sick comebacks. Marines diving the left side, going to try and take out a few Queens. going to try to open something up here. Oh, he's waited too long to pick up, though. Oh, barely gets out. Ghosts are beginning. A couple ghosts is good. I don't think mass ghost is particularly good unless you've got a lot of infrastructure. I think ghosts are good for supporting planetaries and whatnot. Going to expand to the right side. Okay. So we're going to need to start seeing tanks get mixed in as well, I would imagine. BYUN plays his he plays his best late game when he plays siege tanks mixed in, but he's still trying to play like Biomine with just a bit of ghost support to deal with Lurker Viper, I guess. The Marines getting jumped on by the Ling Bane. Widow Mines do clear the front wave. BYUN this time, he finally gets his first decent fight where he actually like loses the Widow Mines but keeps his bio very safe. Concussive does start. Now he realizes that was missing. Very important to have Concussive now that he's swapped into a good number of Marauders. And that double drop in the top is going to pull back. Frenzy is on the way. Nanomuscular Swell, of course, or as I like to call it, Hydra Thrust, is halfway done. Adaptive Talons coming in as Lurker Range has already been upgraded. Seismic Spines. It's got the range upgrades coming in as well as the +3 carapace. +2 melee is enough for now. More important to get range upgrades to the Hydras and Lurkers. And that Ling Bane Hydra is going to find this command center. Easy snatch on the command center. If his Hydras stutter step on it, he could kill it, but he's going to, of course, try to fight the army instead. Only a few Hydras chase the command center. Ling Bane tries to roll forward. Great Parasitic Bomb from the Viper. Quick split there, though, for BYUN. And overall, good micro by BYUN. BYUN is ahead 3,500 in the units lost tab. He's trying to build orbitals up in the main. He's got to catch up in this regard. He's trying to also go second Starport Fusion Core. But he's just not got enough money. His gas count especially is struggling. But I feel like for him, he needs a planetary up here. And like some tanks or libs there. And he needs just tanks and libs everywhere because Nidus is coming in. Lurker Den's done. I like the Vikings up top to stop the Nidus Worm getting in that direction. Building a turret over here is super essential as well to make sure nothing gets in. Of course, BYUN, he may be maxed out, but I feel like he's not as well set up as he could be for this stage. Ling Bane Hydra numbers are good. Still no Lurkers just yet. It's still just Ling Bane Hydra Viper. Solar playing a bit more of a mobility-focused unit comp rather than the I'm going to overwhelm you with siege units, which I honestly don't think BYUN has enough ghost energy to deal with like a full committed Lurker push right now. This might give him enough time to claw his way back into this game. Let's see what Solar can get done. Plenty of Marine Ghost up north deflects those guys, but a lot of Banelings down here, and Planetaries don't lift, guys. Ooh. I don't know, the way I said Planetaries don't lift, it just made me think of that White Men Can't Jump movie. It's like, Planetaries can't lift. The orbitals are just there flexing in the gym. They're like, you can't lift, you little bitches. Too heavy, man. It's a weight issue, though. I think planetaries are stronger than orbitals, in my opinion. I just think they weigh more. You know? It's like criticizing someone who's, 200 kilos for not being able to do a pull-up. You're like, that's a lot harder than most people's pull-up, man. Ling Bane Hydra trying to come forward right now. The Marine Ghost over here does defend in the north. Dude, BYUN's defending really well. BYUN's defending really, really well. 200 kilos, 440 pounds. Translating that into freedom units for people who can't count good. Extra command centers there as well. Just times by 2.2. Or just by 2 and it's close enough. Real simple. Hydra Ling Bane coming forward. We got the Nidus in the bottom right as well. Marine Marauder Ghost. Oh, there's SCVs on the front. I guess they're trying to repair these medevacs. Wow, Solar trying to just get mistakes out of BYUN. BYUN's really not making them. He's up 5,000 resources, guys. I feel like Solar's got to get something done. He sees the exposed command centers. You got it. Yeah, you got to stop these command centers. BYUN not canceling. One command center does go down. Quite a few Banelings being spent though, and oh, Lurkers in the south. That's where he could find the real damage. That's where he could find the real damage. I don't think. Oh, and look, Lurker Spines. Oh my God, he killed all the SCVs. BYUN getting wrecked right now. That command center goes down. Ling Bane Hydra rolls back in the north as well. Gets a bunch of the SCVs there. Ghosts do come down. There's no Overseer, but he's already killed the Planetary, so that is good enough. BYUN with no tanks and no libs. The libs are now starting to come out, but it's just so late. 15 minutes and his first libs are about to enter the pit. You need libs or tanks to defend these sort of positions, right? You can't be doing it without that. Nidus Worm does get up in the main, but it immediately gets slapped down. Second factory has to lift. Base is burning right now. More Lurkers going to come in. A 4-base Terran cannot withstand this avalanche, and Solar realizes on 96 workers, he just needs to keep trading. He's got such a money advantage. Oh, he gets some Banelings on the Ghosts. That's a lot of dead Terran. A lot of dead Zerg for it, but of course, any trade's a good trade for Rich Man Solar. Rich man against poor man, guys. Rich dad, poor dad. Marine Marauder here. So the difference is that the poor dad right now, he's just he's spending his money on cigarettes right now, is BYUN. He's spending his money on takeaway, McDonald's, solar, covering the map in creep, expanding to the corners, investing in the future, getting those dividends, investing in all this property, and he just makes bank there. It does take a very nice game one. I think BYUN's first tank push getting jumped on, Solar's scouting that before BYUN could get set up down here at about 7-8 minutes was good. But then I think also those Marines running too deep on creep and getting caught there, it just gave way too much control to Solar from that point. And the free pass to Hive, I mean, that's Solar's game plan, is to get to Hive. That's where he excels. Really nice game one. All right, guys, BYUN in the top left side of the map. Hopefully has a better opening this time. Looked like his opening, like I said, was a little sloppy last game. Idle SCVs, command center on the natural. There's nothing wrong with building the command center in the wall off. It just, to me, spoke of BYUN being a bit chaotic because there's no advantage to it. And it just felt like he was just doing things in a slightly different order. And that usually speaks to a player being a bit frantic. When you get a bit tilted, a bit thrown off, your adrenaline spiking, that's often the moment where you start just doing things in a different way to how you normally do for no good reason. And there's a very clear distinction. Adjusting in any competition that involves strategy, which is basically any sport, anything like that, it's always really good if you can adjust and have a wide range as a player in a competitive environment. But you never want to get to the point where you're just panic moving away from the things that you're good at for no good reason. And I always look for this, especially when I'm watching like BYUN. For Hero, it's a bit different because I think Hero always looks a bit chaotic in how he plays and does things randomly. And it doesn't, in my experience, doesn't, like Rainer to a certain extent, a little bit as well. But those guys, it's not them playing bad. They just always kind of play like a little different each game. They have like a certain intuitive way of playing. BYUN definitely is one of the few guys who's still competing at the top these days, who still gets really tense in his play and is just like super tunnel vision on microing his way to victories in certain situations. And you see him like massively give up on one area of the game and just ignore it and not do good macro to really focus on his micro. Whereas most players these days are a bit more balanced, where they'll like focus an extra 20% on this area. Whereas BYUN will be like, everything is microing the Reaper on the front for the next 30 seconds and I'll float some money or whatever it is, right? It's cool because like you can really see where his focus is as a player, but it leads to these moments where he gets these obviously kind of like, you know, falls off in a drawn out extended micro situation. Now we do have the lens flare here, guys. People have been asking about that. It's from that light bulb. I'm not going to change my graphic settings to remove it simply for this one map feature. But if anyone can explain the physics of how that light creates that massive lens flare on the screen, I think you're going to have to ask the StarCraft physics engine. I don't think it makes sense. See? Lens flare? Why is it so big from that little light? I guess it's a spotlight, but still. Yeah, Reaper doesn't find any damage just yet. Chat says, what's the best race, Pig? There is no best race. That's what's great about it. Unless you go to the general chat and then there's people talking about real life races, but that's because those people are crazy. Yeah. But no, in StarCraft, it's a very balanced game. It's 99% skill. So at the moment when everyone's whining harder than they've ever whined in the last year in StarCraft, usually that means a matchup's gone maybe 2 or 3% in a certain direction, which does make a big difference at the top. It really does. You know, but people definitely are so used to the game being quite well balanced that they do over-exaggerate generally. So I know there's a lot of RTS and strategy games out there where there's clearly just a best thing that's so much better than everything else. And if they don't get constant balance updates, the game is just figured out. Like a lot of real-time strategy games for most time, they go and they basically would just be mirror matchups at a certain point. Like think of Warcraft 2, right? The OG imbalanced game where at a certain point, all it was every single time, Orc versus Orc, Ogre Magi, spamming Bloodlust. You would never even get runes in competitive Warcraft 2. And runes was like the coolest upgrade ever. But basically, humans just couldn't contest with Ogres. And that's because, by the way, for those who don't know, Blizzard they were more into Horde from the very start. Like those guys like metal. They like orcs and goblins and demons and stuff. Like, they always wanted them to be a bit stronger. Even in Warcraft, Orcs and Humans, the original one, people are like, oh, the units are mirrored. It was a balanced game. And I'm like, yeah, until you build a Warlock, and then you realize it summons a demon which can 1v2 2 water elementals, which are the ultimate summon units on both sides. The demons were so much better than the water elementals. It was insane. The clerics were just like, oh, our summon sucks compared to yours. What the hell, man? And they're like, yeah, this game's perfectly mirrored until you get to the spellcasters, and then the orc spellcasters are just always way better than the human ones in the old Warcraft games. Oh, Roach Horn, cool. I don't know how good Solar's Roach play is, guys. I feel like he's probably a guy who wants to do a sneaky Roach all-in. Spore Crawler and Queen moving to deal with the lid. But if he was already set up, that would have done huge damage. And does he have a Spore behind the natural? Answer is no. But with the Queen already there, you normally don't want to siege on top of that. Lings are ready, but there's not many of them. Oh, BYUN's going to go for a drive-by. I'm going for a drive-by shooting. I do what I want. Okay, Hellions going to drive in. They're going to get a good number. A lot more Lings are coming in, though, so I think the drone damage will be minimized. Uh-oh, Queens need to split right. Queens need to block the ramp. They need to split right. They need to split right. Queen's here. He's focusing on transfuses. Does save another drone there. And it looks like he shuts it down. Wow, good response. Dude, I would have lost so many workers there. That was a good scramble by Solar. The fact that he had more Zerglings already in production was definitely a lifesaver. And he did miss some injects, I think, but he'll get back to it soon enough, no doubt. And as long as he moves this Queen and Spore over, which he's going to, that Liberator shouldn't be able to find anything. Okay. Well, you don't want to leave that siege unless you're willing to lose the lib. Clem would never have left that siege because he never wants to lose the lib, but BYUN's like, I will grab 2 drones. And he does lose the lib for it, which I think Solar's pretty happy about getting control of his base. Now, Evo Chamber's down, but only 1. He's going to need a second one of those. Roach Speed is on the way. Carapace, the most important upgrade. He's very far behind on the upgrade, so I think this has been a very successful opening. Keep in mind, compared to a Banshee opening, building a single lib, it hits harder, it hits faster, costs a lot less investment, because you don't need to wait for Cloak. You don't need to make Cloak and 2 Banshees. It's just 1 Liberator. Bam, 150 minerals, 125 gas. Very cheap, and now he's got Marine Tank out front. Looks like he's even thinking about moving forward. Wow. I mean, if he pushes with his first 2 medevacs, I mean, yeah, he could move north, look for a deny on the 4th base, maybe. It's a ballsy push, but it could pay off big time here. I think BYUN senses he's got momentum, and he just wants to lean on Solar and force more mistakes and catch him out. Infestation Pit is there. 72 workers for Solar. He's trying to build roaches. He's going to be forced to max roaches. I think with how aggressive BYUN's being, he's probably quite happy that he's going into +1 range. But look at the way BYUN's doing. This is a fake out. Guys, this is a fake out. He should run home now. What? What are you doing, BYUN? This is clearly a fake out. You just built a 4th command center. Okay, he does turn around. Thankfully, he's dealing with roaches. I don't know if he misclicked or what. I was like, this is such a smart fake out. Show really aggressive play while being really greedy behind it. And then he unsieges and walks on creep. But I'm like, no, not like last game, bro. The tanks and Marines will clean up this Ling run by. We lose like 1 SCV at most, I think. Yeah, only 1. And the roaches here are gathering. Now the hive's on the way, Bailey Nest, but it feels like because Solar's stuck being a bit reactive, he's a little, behind the curve. And I think with that fast 4th command center, 8 barracks coming up, I wouldn't be surprised to see BYUN build a 2nd factory. Yes, there we go. I was like, kind of need that right now. He should also have a 6th gas, because when you're playing double tank production plus medevacs and upgrades, you do need 6 gas. This is not bio-mine, it's bio-tank. Bio-tank, a lot more gas heavy. But he's a bit slow to do it. He's also making vehicle armor, which is what you do when you're playing Widow Mines, not when you're playing tanks. So a bit tangled right now is BYUN's play, guys. Doesn't feel as hyper-optimized as it maybe could be. Maybe worried about the Lingbane transition, and he's just preparing for that since he thinks it's just a Roach Ravager early game. But it is a lot of Roach Ravager. Tanks very exposed on the front. They're very slow to siege as well. But the Biles are late, and that's going to be, man, the Biles take out 2 tanks, but 1 tank's still firing in the back, and BYUN does lose his final tank to a Bile, but I think this is a pretty great trade for him. He's killed so much Roach Ravager. Remember, he's got a 4th base behind it. He's not, like, let's check the units lost. I mean, he's not that far ahead on the units lost, but he's going to force a lot more Roach Ravager out of Solar as well. And Solar's 1-2 upgrades are delayed while your 2-2's almost done. 4th command center will float out. There is a Zergling over there that's going to try to block it, or maybe kill an SCV if he's lucky. Concussive Shells is coming in, and 2 more command centers. Yeah, BYUN is kind of doing non-committal pressure attacks here. He's trying to be annoying and at the same time being incredibly greedy behind it. He is really gearing up for the long game. Marines spreading forward. Banelings are useless at this stage, pre-Baneling speed. Marines here, got to be careful against these this just number of units that could reinforce. Wouldn't be a bad time to just pull out here for BYUN. Tank will get biled and it will fall down. Does deflect the Zerglings, though, from that side. Ultra Cavern on the way, interestingly enough, guys, for Mr. Solar here. He's got 2 Vipers and an Ultra Cavern. Ling's running on the 4th as well. Planetary's not quite erect just yet. 2-2 upgrades already done for BYUN. Plus 2 Carapace, not even halfway for Solar. If BYUN can start 3-3 straight away as well, then it feels like he's just in an amazing position. I don't think he should be attacking, though, right now with his main army. As long as he just pokes and prods and looks to distract, it's fine. But he's still trying to just keep Solar on the back foot. It's kind of a narrow line that he's walking right now, where he's getting good trades. He's definitely catching Solar off right now. These Marines doing really well. Pushes the left side at the same time. But he's got to realize that this is not something where he needs to get damage. And it should be all about his macro behind this to really finish this game off. But BYUN here, just scrappy multi-prong. And Solar doesn't seem to have the numbers because he's waiting for Ultras. Oh, he just has no units. Never mind. That drop in the main killed like all of his Zerglings in that choke point in the mineral line. BYUN is like macroing so greedy, making orbitals, making a 5th command center floating out to be a planetary. He's just too far ahead from that early momentum. That first push, I think, traded well enough that Solar's just been a bit too far behind. Ultra Cavern feels weird when he's so behind on upgrades, says Giant. Orange. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, Ultras are really nice against this style, I would say, for helping you, but it feels like he's just a little too far behind. And I mean, if you can get Fungal Ultra against this army, it's especially insane. But as it is, we've got the Lings going for a counterattack. Going to lose his 6th base again, or 5th base, I should say, for Solar. Ultra, Ravager Ling Bane tries to roll forward. Widowmines are going to get some boom booms on those Ultras. Widowmines don't do crazy damage to Ultras, but they do get through them eventually. Lots of Lings going through for the counterattack there. Widowmine will get a decent first hit. The Bio pulling back. Parasitic Bombs doing big damage. A bit of a slow spread there because he's distracted by the Zerglings. Those Medivacs getting popped. Wow, lots of damage. 4 Medivacs just went down to the Parasitic Bomb. Great move for Solar. But BYUN goes for the Hatchery Snipe. Oh my gosh, he almost gets at the Transfuse. Barely saving him. Solar on 4 bases, hanging on. He's digging in his heels right now. He's refusing to go down without a fight. And the 3-3, it was delayed, but it's now started up. The 5th command center is burning. BYUN, he's got a 6th in the main. That's an orbital. He's got more commands in his building. BYUN needs to clean this up and keep on track. But look at this, guys. His depots are raised. He's got a lot of army idling in his main, a lot of SCVs idling in his main. He needs to do a control click on his idle worker button and send those to the front. The command center, he lands it and it dies! BYUN, guys, you could tell BYUN is not as comfortable in this game. Like I said, being this greedy is not BYUN's natural state. BYUN is more of a timing attack, 2-3 base momentum, tempo based player. I'm all over you. Maybe not timing attack, but tempo, momentum, aggression, right? It's all about keeping his foot on the pedal to the metal, keeping the aggression on and not letting the Zerg get to this stage. But now Solar's got some good tools. Fortunately for BYUN, Solar's creep spread is nearly non-existent. He's only got his own little corner, and the attacks are about to continue. Drop's going to dive the 5th base again on the left, while this army distracts on the right, and that's exactly what you want to do. Biles missing the Widow Mines. What is going on with Solar's Biles? You can't see the Widow Mines. Queen's getting EMP'd. Who the hell EMPs a Queen, man? Holy crap. BYUN going full random task in this game. Bottom left side. Oh, that got cleaned up. Solar anticipating BYUN's moves now. Solar's actually stabilizing, and he's got Infestor Ultra. And remember, guys, Infestor Ultra can absolutely wreck what BYUN's doing with the right engagement. You land a Fungal on this army with Ultras, it can ruin them. Queen Ultra Ling Bane comes in. The Vipers did get chased away by the Marines. That allows BYUN to save 8 Marines. Good micro of him to at least do that, but he's starting to bleed units out. And you can see the units lost, nearly dead even. If Solar can re-establish this base and keep it up, he'll be good. Looks like he did have to cancel this again. So it looks like he lost the base, and then the units killed all of BYUN's stuff down there. Fair enough, fair enough. Ghost count is growing. BYUN does not have the range lib transition up. That would be the sort of checkmatey move here, since there's no Corruptors or Hydras on the field. Hydra's not great against libs, but they're an okay. They can at least fight them. And then you've got, of course, Corruptors being the best against it, but no one builds Corruptors till far too late. Been my biggest criticism of late game Zerg versus Terran recently, but with no libs producing, Bio Ghost is so hard to micro in these sorts of games. And look at that, the Ultra's chasing back to his side of the map, and I think Solar looking like he might be able to get a 2-0 in this game, just clawing his way back from behind, something that he's famous for. It's not over till it's over by any means, but it's just, if he can respread creep to the midpoint of the map, get a 6th base up, it feels like Solar's back in control of this game. Marine Marauder's going to drop down there. Ling's getting a bit of an angle. Nice. Good movement with the Queens. Triple Drop's going to go hit the main, though. There is a Giga Chad Spore. We'll take out a Medevac if he doesn't move away from that. Oh, good moves. All right, he's just going to fight. He doesn't have many Marines or Ghosts, so Marauders are actually really hard to deal with. And Parasitic Bomb's very nice for Solar. Takes out at least one medevac there. Bile does only hit his own Ultralisk, not the biggest deal. Ultralisk can shake that one off with no problem. He's to leave an Ultra up here. Ultras will defend the 6th base for now. Oof, yum yum. Yum, yum, yum. But uh-oh, base number 5 is in jeopardy. Banelings potentially getting hit by Widow Mines. Nope, the Ultra does tank that shot. Very nice defense, dude. Where is Solar's Spire? Solar's got money. He's got the composition. If he adds Corruptors to this, he's in an unbeatable position right now. I'm telling you, Corruptors hard counter everything that BYUN has. The medevacs, the libs that are coming in. If you add Corruptors to this, it's insane. BYUN right now needs to make a desperate hold. His libs coming in at the finals moment. Can they hold? I think they can. I think you've got to pull away from this as Solar. He's going to use Biles to kill one lib. He's going to pull back, but he got a command center up north as well. Oh me, oh my, dude. Solar kind of wrecking BYUN right now, and BYUN is so good at certain stages, but his transitions aren't as fluid as Clem, who's so smooth at going to that next stage. Ultra Link coming in from the left, Viper Ultra in the middle as well. Solar right now is playing this so well from behind. The Bio, though, started stepping back very well. Lots of SCVs going down on the left. Now, keep in mind, BYUN does have a lot of orbitals, so losing SCVs is frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. I love that burrow. I don't think BYUN saw that. I barely saw the burrow as well. Command center down south will get defended. BYUN's got to focus on one side. He can't take the top and the bottom at the same time. It's a classic mistake. We've talked about this many times, guys. If you expand to both sides of the map, you really give the Zerg the advantage with their mobility. Still no Corruptors coming in. The lib count is at 4, continuing to grow. Solar, he's got Bank. The moment you have Bank and you're maxed out, you have to go for Aspire. There we go. He does it finally. It's late. It's really late. Like I said, he could have gone for that a minute ago, maybe even 90 seconds. And this is one of those big things that I've been criticizing Serral for. I've been criticizing every single Zerg player for. If you're playing against Terran, Zerg player. If you're playing against this sort of army, you're playing Ultra Ling Bane, you got to do it. Widow Mines get some first amazing shots. But Lings do run in, but the Planetary shuts it down. Liberator Harassment for BYUN. Liberator Harassment kills 18, 20 workers. He's on all 3 bases at the same time. BYUN, though, getting hammered by the Ultras. Oh, good hot pickup, good hot pickup. He saves some of the bio. He loses so many units. His Liberators absolutely rinse Solar's economy. Oh, he biles a lib, but he gets his own Ultralisk with those biles as well. Solar's got to continue pushing right now. His economy just got absolutely destroyed. His Queens are slowly cleaning up those libs, but he lost so many workers in the heat of the action. This triple lib cleanup was amazing. Giga Transport does get rid of that lib, says, nah, mate, get out of here, you D-bag. Command center number 6 is going to land. He's got 5 orbitals. I feel like how many planetaries have died? 2 planetaries, 1 command center. Losing command centers is really big, but Solar's keeping his 5th healthy down south. He's on only he's re-droned, but now his army supply is low after losing all those workers. Dude, BYUN, did he fight back with a triple lib harass? I think he might have actually fought back with a triple lib. Oh man. I feel for Solar and my old band Bones. Anyone who's watched my stream over the past few years, you know that in this matchup in the late game, my most hated thing is multi-prong lib harass. I always, you know, have a bit of a little rivalry with Vindicta, where he's the fastest APM Terran in the world, and whenever we play, he just spams Liberators at me. And knowing that it is, you know, going to take me a lot of APM to deal with, and it costs him nothing because he's so fast. And I'm just like, dude, this is literally senior abuse. This is those people who abuse old people. Like, this is those sick bastards who took advantage of the Marvel guy, what's his name, Stan Lee, in his old age, you know? They're like, force him to conventions to sign stuff while they're taking all of his money and stuff. Evil behavior. What I'm saying, guys, is BYUN using a tool that's effective in this matchup means he's a bad person. Some people would say I'm not being fair right now. I would say your face isn't being fair, internet. No, it's a good move, obviously. Oliveira used it really well to win his world championship as well. And moving forward, BYUN's got the supply advantage. Corruptors are coming in, and those 8 Corruptors are going to be very helpful. But Solar's doing it off a much more limited economic position, and oh no, he's not guarding the bottom, guys. His whole army's up here. I don't think BYUN knows about this base, but Solar's so worried about losing that base. Snipes coming in, almost kills an Ultralisk, and oh, hatchery kill, and if he gets another one, Solar, I think Solar needed to keep a squad of units forward on that bottom left. This is a huge positional mistake, and now he pulls his whole army out of position. He loses both hatcheries and pulls his army out of position. If BYUN hits the top right now, Solar loses all of his economy. It's a positional mistake for Solar. You can't be standing off with your opponent at this stage of the game as Zerg. You need to have your army ready to be counterattacking to dictate where the fighting goes. He's going to split some Ultra Ling Bane Corruptor up here to try and hunt this drop down. That's a good choice. He could also dive this base, which only has Liberator defense right now. And he should get one full medevac, but no, he pulls away. Oh, he does pull away. He's going to get a medevac with just one Marine, one Marauder still inside. Chases another one. He could chase onto those libs as well. BYUN finds the top right base, and he's like, ooh, juicy target. BYUN splits a drop up there. Ultraling Corruptor diving. Solar finds some good damage, but as the army rallies back... Oh, Solar losing those bottom left bases. It's a game-losing mistake. It's a game-losing mistake because then he pulls to defend it. Now he's out of position for this side. Oh, Solar's going to be kicking himself for that mistake, man. You can't... On this map where your bases are spread so far, you can't be clumping your whole army together. He's now got to crush this army right now. The Banelings are getting hit by the Widow Mines. The Ultra's getting sniped. And, dude, BYUN fighting back with a triple Liberator Siege in the midst of the action. Solar's Infestor's been perving all game, but like a proper pervert, he's just watching and he's not actually doing anything. That Infestor hasn't found what he would like, which is, of course, the Money Fungal. And now that there's so few tools on the board for Solar to manage, of course, he's going to go, okay, let's use this Infestor, but it's a little bit too little too late. I don't think it's early enough here. And BYUN's going to break these rocks. He's got another perv there. 2 pervs. I don't think he has the army to contest. He's down 60 army supply now. Scan barely misses the Infestor. Trying not to move that. Liberator in the bottom left is going to siege the base again. Oh, BYUN's being a nasty. Corruptors will go down there to hunt it down. But look at that. He bypasses to the right. Still going to get the siege up. Ghost trying to get some snipes. They do get jumped on by the Link Bane. Beautiful on Burrow Fungal. Oh my gosh, but he picks up and saves a lot of the units. Widowmine cannot take down the Medevacs. Remember, the Liberator distracted the Corruptors. The Corruptor Vipers are out of position. The Liberator's down here. Liberator still kills 7 workers and pulls the Corruptors out of position, which is what allows him to pick up and pull away. If the Corruptors were there as well, you can't do that pickup without losing a bunch of full Medevacs. That Liberator was the friggin' amazing Liberator. That was the guy who just saved a lot of BYUN's army. I don't think, even with a good fight, it would have gone amazingly for Solar. Even if he kills a few full medevacs, you can see the supply difference is monumental with just all this lost mining from these bases that have been getting sniped. Corruptor Ultraling Bane runs forward, and Solar realizes he just does not have the numbers. GG, well played. All right, guys, game 3 here on Sandworm. BYUN on the bottom left side of the map. It's been a banger of a series just yet. Just yet, so far, is what I'm trying to say. Falcon Solar at the top right. Obviously, Shopify Rebellion being represented by Mr. BYUN. It's going to go Barracks Gas. Standard opening now. Sandworm's a map that does have a decent layout. You kind of go forward from your natural. You come out here. You got multiple ramps. You can go down here to, ooh, gold base, but it's blocked by some joined rocks. You can kill those and then get access to a gold base, but it's got like a ledge above it from the high ground. It does have decent defensive ledges. Pushing through this middle area, in general, the middle of this map is a Terran dream for like siege tanks and stuff with all these like blockers, but there's enough paths around the outside, and there are some decently wide open areas where Zerg can do pretty well. I imagine on this map, I was talking about how like with Link Bane, you got to counterattack. You can't go for the gold base. You got to go around the edges and counter and play this style. And I think Scarlet was in chat the first time I was looking at the map and examining it, and she was like, you just play Roach Ravager and take the gold base, pig. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess with Roach Ravager, if they siege a tank there, you just run up and Corrosive Bile it. Okay, fair enough. I was like, yeah, this is probably a good map for Roach Ravager. I was like, fine. But if you do want to play Link Bane, which Solar usually is a bit more confident in, I think you can't be too frontally focused unless you get a big advantage, because there's some nasty tank positions. BYUN is the living... Someone was asking, how good is BYUN right now? And I like Giant Orange's explanation. They said BYUN is the living incarnation of a Reaper, with all the negatives and positives that come with that. Yeah, basically, he's like a Florida Man. Florida Man, it's like, you know, Florida Man builds own jetpack, loads 2 Uzis, and then decides to fight crime in his local neighborhood. That's essentially BYUN, right? Like, this guy's like clearly on drugs. He means well, but also, I don't know, he's kind of like a crazy vigilante. Like, he can do amazing things. He also, his jetpack could explode at any moment, and he could just like, you know, get turned to a fine bloody mist. Spectacular plays, messy plays. He'll make the games interesting no matter what. I really enjoy BYUN games. I would say I've been a little annoyed at BYUN recently, even though I really love him as a person, just because the tournament schedule for the weeklies has been back to back, and him being such a grinder, he always tries to play all 3 of them, which I'd be fine with if he just was tired enough to get eliminated early in the 3rd one, which is our tournament, the Pigstarcraft Weekly. Problem, he doesn't. He always makes it to the finals, and then he's so exhausted that he just gets flattened in the finals most of the time. And I'm like, no! You made it to the finals, and it's an anticlimax because you're too tired to play properly by that point because you played 3 tournaments back to back. But we're going to change the scheduling for that. I don't know if we'll get to this week or not, but hopefully we do. And hopefully I'll be able to commentate it as well. I think I should be able to after waking up from Pigstarcraft. I've got to speak to Stego, our organizer, admin, and badass to see if we can make it be either a day before or an extra day later, just to make sure it's not 3 tournaments in a 24-hour span that the grinders try to play all 3 of. Hopefully get some better signups that way, get some better quality of play. Should be nice. I also wouldn't mind us getting best of 5s for the semis in the weekly as well, but that's something I've been pushing for a while. Reaper Hellion poking around. I'm not sure why. Gumiho is the only Terran I usually cheer for, says Mr. Big. Yeah, that's because you like builds. You don't like mechanical Terran. You just like builds. And Gumiho's all about them builds. I love Gumiho as well. He's very fun to watch. Oh, he's going to commit. Oh, wow. I thought BYUN was just going to run away there. I think he hesitated for a bit too long. That was bad. Loses 2 Reapers and Alien. Great shutdown for Solar. I think the moment you need to be 100% committed there. You could see he turned away and then he decided to go forwards. He should have just taken a queen hit or 2, ran away. Marine is going to clean up this Overlord. 3rd command center will float out. And it's going to be a 2nd and 3rd barracks starting up soon. Will the 2 Banshees do damage? Where is the first one? Just chilling. Oh, we're waiting for both to go across the map. I guess he just wants them as a bit of safety. And see, using these reactors from the factory and starport. Biggest mistake low-level players make is once they build the early factory starport, they just keep building units off it non-stop. But after getting a few units out for whatever the early game usage is, you know, 4 or 6 Hellions for map control, 1 or 2 air units for a bit of harassment. You build reactors with them so that your barracks aren't delaying that first 2 medevacs with stim. So other than just benchmarking your work, is a great thing if you want to improve at this matchup is when does your first medevacs with stim and marines arrive to harass the opponent? A lot of people only focus on their early work account or when their Hellions hit or how early their Banshees harass the opponent, but that's why a lot of Terrans fall off if they don't do big damage early, because those Marines are just a bit too late. This is a nice tight build. Double Engineering Base should be starting the upgrades, and he does start +1 armor, no +1 attack just yet. I find it interesting that pros so often don't shift-click their SCVs back to mining. These are non-cloak Banshees, guys. Can't find the damage. +1 attack does start. Good to see that BYUN checks for that these days. Looks like he sniped a creep tumor or 2 at the front as well. Creep tumors don't show up in this unit's loss tab. At least, especially not if they're still building. Hey, gets it again. No creep for you. Solar goes to take a 4th or 5th base at the goal. Doesn't quite get it. He's already got a 4th up there. It's a bit safer. Hellions, got to be careful here. Skibbity Forest. Oh, Lings can go through there. Hellions cannot fit between these. The thing that drives me crazy about BYUN is he always prioritizes +1 armor over weapons. He had a big problem where he forgot this for like a year. I criticized him a lot. I even DM'd him about it. He actually changed his habit to always start +1 weapons before. He just changed the habit with his fingers to cycle them correctly. Because you're not looking, often as a pro, you're just selecting the eBay hotkey, you're going button 1, button 2. And he actually cycled it to the correct order. And it was really cool. I was like, wow, usually players struggle to change deep muscle memory like that. 3 months later, he went back to the old habit, and he's just been stuck with it ever since. And I was like, what? For 3 months you did it correctly, and then he just forgot. Muscle memory's hard, guys. There's so much going on in a StarCraft game. It's wild. Oh, great Ling run by. He's going to find a tank if that medevac isn't quick enough. Oh, but it is. Oh, but it is. Pro gamers, man, are so good at saving these units. And these guys not clearing that creep was kind of nasty. These creep tumors are doing a really good job. He's not got a lot of medevac space, and Baneling speed's almost done. BYUN's going to push way in front of this siege tank. It's a crazy push here. He's on top of the Queens, but the Queens are going to start to clear these Hellbats. He's going to try and clear out the Hellbats with the Banes, and then wait for Bane speed. Great hold by Solar so far. That one tank is very heavily damaged. He's going to split some Marines down south. BYUN is deep on creep right now. That tumor actually dies to the splash damage of the tank, but Solar dives on top. Baneling speed does kick in halfway through the fight. Looks like Solar's macro is being good enough, and at the same time, Ling's in the natural! Ling's in the natural as he ransacks BYUN's army. We'll see what BYUN managed to save from that frontal push. As the Lings get cleaned up after 13 SCVs, only 12 Marines survived on the front. Wow. Another excellent hold for Solar. BYUN's been very timing attack focused today. This is the sort of timing attack that tends to ruin Dark. But Solar is so ready for it today. His openings have just been so clean. 12 Marines building at a time. It is an 8 racks for BYUN. He's trying to play a momentum-focused style. We've seen him make crazy comebacks with this style of StarCraft in the past. Let's see if he can do it again. Gets a few creep tumors in the middle. Drops in the main, but he loses a medevac. A few Marines do some damage there. These Marines on the front, those medevacs need to pick up. Great hot pickup, Micro. These Marines in the main, if they'd shift-clicked at a few drones, that would have been awesome. That medevac up north flies over the Queens. Luckily, doesn't get targeted. These guys pull back. Marines in the main do get taken down. On the north side, that medevac almost goes down. Does Micro it just in time to save it. Hive starting up for Solar on 85 workers. BYUN on 55 workers. Has not finished rebuilding from that damage. That big run by was huge. Now, keep in mind, guys, he was building Marines 8 at a time, but he's now built Tech Labs. He's decided to play a longer game. He's also going to go 3 factory. He's going to try and play heavy siege tank late game. This only works because a lot of the Zergs do not believe in Broodlords. They think Broodlords are so bad, even when BYUN plays mass siege tank, they don't do it. So BYUN's realizing, I got to slow this game down. If I can get up to like just 15 siege tanks, Marines, Marauders spread across my bases, I can basically drag this out. He realizes he's not going to kill Solar this game. He's trying to slow it down. But he has a monumental supply block, and these guys have a mission. Distract the Zerg player. He needs to keep Solar busy. If he doesn't distract Solar and Solar realizes he can A-move him, Solar can kill him right now with an attack move. Very technical maneuver. Most people don't know how to do this unless they're in Bronze League, in which case you grab your army, and then you press A, and then you click it here. There's just not enough Terran to defend. Uh-oh, Solar's realized. Solar's realized he's down 40 army supply. Oh, BYUN needs to run those SCVs right now, but he's not going to. The Marines trying to hold the choke point. The tank's getting jumped on. The Banelings get a big juicy, and even attacking through a choke point there. Solar still gets a decent fight. A couple of changelings go down. BYUN does not get the last one. He's just standing there like, oh, thank God you killed those fake Marines standing next to me. Wow. Yeah, I can't. Oh, God. Oh, they realized. Lings are there as well. 70 workers for Terran. He's got a 5th command center building as well over here. Walling off. As I said, he's going to go triple tank. No Widow Mines, no Hellbats. He's just going to mass siege tank and try to survive. He's got to lift this and run. Run. BYUN slow reaction. He's got to run the SCVs. He has not told them to run. He's busy microing his army. If he can get rid of the Banelings, he might be able to do it. The tank's trying to take down these Banelings. Oh, he tries to focus, but there's still 2 Banelings there. They get on top. The Banshee did focus fire the last Baneling, but my gosh, he just lost 18 workers and a lot of units. He does drop in the back of the Zerg base and says, oh yeah, you damage my economy, I damage yours. Unfortunately, killing a single drone is not the same as losing 36, and Solar just rolls over him. This is really a series of BYUN committing to a lot of early attacks, and I don't think a single one went well for him, right? This could have been a 3-0 even. Actually, no, he was way ahead on Whispers of Gold, and then Solar managed to still bring that one back. It's so crazy, isn't it? Because it feels like Solar's so much better than BYUN in a standard game. But BYUN, historically, is usually able to find these advantages and just put Solar on tilt a little bit and kind of find ways to micro his way to victory. But this Ling run by was really good this game. And look, he F2. Oh my God, look at that, guys. He F2'd it. Did you see that? He ran in with the Lings, killed a tank, and then he F2'd it home. And then luckily he realized, if he didn't click these back in, this would have been a totally different game. And then BYUN's so focused on the front, his Marines walk right past. Oh my Lord. So he loses like 13 SCVs? Wow. And let's watch this fight one more time as well. Even though Solar didn't even really flank it, it's a bit too open, you know what I mean? Nicely done though. Solar, looking rock solid. 75 workers and crushing this sort of aggression is huge. GG, well played.